Do you want to learn how to get your PC desktop looking like this? Well, in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Let's get into the video. Hello everyone and welcome to another video. It's your boy, it's your homie, it's your host, it's your tech nerd here, GT Omega. So for this video, I promised to show y'all my favorite desktop wallpaper engine to use, and that is the program by the name of Lively Wallpaper. Now, for those of you who don't know, Lively Wallpaper is a program that's only been around for a couple years, and I really liked it because when I was trying to find a program similar to the one that I had before that was called, I think it was like Motion Desktop Wallpaper, I couldn't find it anymore. And long story short, this one is easier to use. I think it's more pretty to look at. And most importantly too for me is it actually combines the entire feature set of another program that I used to use, which was called Translucent Bar, for those of you who are not new to sort of the RIZZing or beautifying desktop game. And the purpose of that program was basically to make your taskbar clear, and I'll show you what that looks like right now. So this is what my taskbar looks like. As you can tell, it's basically completely clear with exception to the icons that, you know, are supposed to show up, if not how would I access my programs. But aside from that, that is what it looks like, and this is what my desktop actually looks like at pretty much 100% of the time that my computer is running. But we're going to go ahead and actually revert back to sort of what I would consider a standard desktop to look like. So let me get that rolling here. And yeah, from there, that we'll start on step one. All right, everyone. So we are now essentially at ground level for, you know, how I would consider most folks' desktops to look like on a, you know, standard Windows 10 system. This is pretty similar to what I started out when I, you know, was pretty new to the desktop game just in general. So what we want to do here, first things first, is you want to go ahead and find your internet browser. So whichever internet browser you want to use, you're going to go ahead and get that. And I'm just going to move mine here just to make it easier for y'all. You're going to go ahead and right click it, and you want to make sure that it's already pinned to your taskbar. So right below pin to start, you should see scan with Microsoft Defender, and then right below that you'll see pin to taskbar. Now for me, I already have my pinned, so it's pinned down here as you can see. I'm not going to unpin it because that's just dumb, and I kind of prefer the order that I have mine in, but that is step one, right? So next step would be to go ahead and actually make these icons disappear. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and the way that you can do that is basically you'll take any free space that you have on your desktop where there's no icons. You're going to go ahead and click the right mouse button, and then from there you're going to go ahead and hit view, and then from view you'll have another menu that will pop out to the side of it, and right where it says show desktop icons, you're going to go ahead and deselect that, and then boom, you should notice now that all of your icons are basically gone. Now they're not necessarily gone, we just made them sort of disappear. And you'll notice that basically anywhere that the icons were beforehand, I can click in any of those spaces and you won't start up any programs. So this is definitely cool if you're one of those people that, you know, they just like to have a clean, nice looking desktop. In reality, it's not necessarily clean, but, you know, for all intents and purposes, it looks clean and, you know, basically crystal clear. So yeah, you can do that and then, you know, just pin whatever programs that you want to down here. With that being said, the next step that we're going to go ahead and do is usually from the get-go, all of your taskbars are going to be locked. So now what we have to do is we're going to go ahead and lock them. And then once you right click, you're going to go to taskbar settings, and then again, make sure that this is unlocked. And then the next one right below that should say automatically hide the taskbar in desktop mode. We're going to go ahead and choose that. And now you should see that basically it's sort of disappeared. Now it won't disappear immediately, but if you give it some time, it will eventually sort of hide itself from view. And this is great just because, you know, I like to use it all the time. I don't necessarily have to because the desktop is already clear, but I like doing it. And so now from here, what we can do, since we also unlock the taskbar, is we can drag and drop this into any corner that we want and essentially set it up like that. Now I used to have mine at the top. I now so prefer mine in the right hand corner. Again, this is all to your preference. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock mine over here. And yeah, essentially from this part, we are ready to go ahead and install and download that Lively Wallpaper program. So yeah, let's get to that step now. All right, everyone. So now that we have our desktop all primed and ready for Lively Wallpaper, we are now going to download and install that program. So to go ahead and download it, you are going to, again, open up your browser of any choice. For me, again, it would be Mozilla Firefox. And then you're going to go to this website up at the top here. That's rocks with an S at the end of it, and then danister.com/lively. And as you notice here, it's got a ton of benefits. Again, it pauses usage whenever you're running applications in full screen, whether that be just regular applications or full screen games. This also supports Windows 11, which is sick. Also has music visualizers and widgets on there as well. And again, this is a free and open source software. So this was made by folks from I believe it's the GitHub community. And yeah, they are awesome. But I do believe that this was the person that headed the project. So shout out to Danny John. With that being said here, if you're ready to go ahead and download it, you're going to click on one of these two. Now, typically I do not use anything from the Microsoft App Store just because I feel like it sucks. And again, there's a whole invasion of privacy thing that I won't get into at this point in time. But typically I actually use the installer that's down here. Once you run the installer and you have the program installed, you don't have to keep it. You can get rid of it. And typically, it'll pop up in whichever download section that you have your files for download in. And then from here, all I have to do is you'll click and open file. As you see here, you immediately come up with this box after it starts running for the first time. And you'll just click whichever language that you want. The current version for this one is going to be 2.070. And again, they've added even more features to this one. I think when I first started, they didn't even have the little music television screen showing you exactly what you're listening to and all that jazz. So that's really cool. For this part, again, you're just going to accept the license agreement, hit next. And then for me, what I always like doing is I like having the both of these checked, just because in case you ever want to, be able to look at it super quick and change out some stuff that you want within your desktop shortcut, you can go view, show desktop icons. Obviously it'll pop up here and then you can just click on it from there. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and deselect that again. And the other important one to definitely do, if you don't want to do this one, that's totally okay. It's all up to you, but make sure to always keep Lively Wallpaper running as soon as your Windows desktop starts. This is because without it, you'll get your regular wallpaper and the desktop wallpapers will not run, unless the program is running, again, 100% of the time. But, whenever you're going into different programs or games, it will automatically pause. So we're going to go ahead and hit next. You'll see here that it's going to go ahead and do both of those. Now, again, because I've already installed Lively Wallpaper, I'm not going to install it. But typically it'll ask you where you want to run it from. I always run it from C, which is where your operating system is. And then from there, it's a done deal. Yeah, it's preparing to install it. But for me, hopefully I can hit cancel. I don't know if I can anymore. Yeah, so see, mine is running it here. Now, obviously I'm going to pause it and I'm going to roll back the changes because again, I don't need it. I already have it installed. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and basically jump to the part where now you have it installed and it pops up on your computer for the first time, because I believe after you do install it, it should run. In some cases, it may tell you that you need to restart your computer. And then from there, you can go ahead and restart it. Once it gets fully booted back into your desktop, you should see it appear after a while. So we're going to basically jump to that point. Okay everyone, so now that we are in the Lively Wallpaper program, I'm going to go ahead and show you firstly how to go ahead and get that clear taskbar. So what you're going to go ahead and do first and foremost is I believe it will put you through a tutorial, but truthfully you could skip the tutorial. So what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to click this little gear cog over here. Then I believe you're going to go to System, and then right here where it says Appearance and Behavior, it's going to say Taskbar Theme, and then usually it's going to be set to off, and then you can make it whatever you want to. I always set it to clear, but again, it's totally up to you. The rest of these options don't do a whole ton for me, but again, I don't need them to, so that should be fine. Now, underneath Wallpaper, what you want to do is you typically need to choose your fit and make sure that it's to fill, just because if not, your wallpaper could end up a little bit wonky. And then obviously, for me, like if you have one of the interactive wallpapers, set it to mouse. And then you can also choose which video player you want to use. For me, I always use MPV. And then if you also have a graphics card, then I would additionally turn that on. That way it's not robbing some performance from your CPU. And again, if you're gonna be playing games or anything like that anyways, you can keep it basically running since you have it there, because it will always pause the program itself whenever you go and you jump into a program at full screen. Everything else, you can basically leave it as is, the performance too. Most of this stuff, again, just leave it as is. And just make sure that it's it's that you have it set to start with Windows system tray icon. You want to make sure that that one runs. So basically what you can do is, now that it's clear, as you'll notice here, almost all of my icons are really hard to see, but whenever you click on the little arrow for your system tray, you can find it right here, right click it, and you can immediately get to whatever you want to within the system. Now for me, what I typically do is I turn all of my wallpapers down for the volume, and that's essentially a done deal. So now we're going to go ahead and hit the back arrow, and boom, we're back at the main screen for all of your desktops. I think I can widen this out a bit just so that it looks a little bit more uniform. Now for mine, obviously you're not going to have all of these. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Basically almost all the ones that you see here that are, I would say, a little bit more than just, standard cool stuff. That's all going to be ones that I've already downloaded, right? But the ones that you see here for like simple system, triangles and lights, the hill, ripples, waves, rain, protein clouds, rain again, periodic table, parallax.js, Medusa, but matrix rain customizable, living room, music TV low quality. All of those are going to be installed from the get-go, including fluids, I believe, and also internal light. But everything else that's on here, this is stuff that I've downloaded from multiple websites. My favorite one being Moe Walls. Now, Moe Walls is basically the hub, is, if you will, to get all wallpapers that are Weeb, but also just other cool stuff, right? So like you'll see here, they have vehicles, they have stuff from multiple different shows, and then also just some random games thrown here and there too. So like Overwatch, Rick and Morty, stuff that's more within the cyberpunk realm. I think usually also Genshin Impact is in here. You'll find a lot of that stuff very, very often, but I've gotten damn near close to everything from here that I currently have on my in my desktop wallpaper collection. But yeah, the other cool thing too is that you want to go ahead and obviously filter out resolutions that don't apply to you. So for my specific computer, I'm going to be looking at stuff that's only within 2560 by 1440 resolution. If not, it's gonna come out a bit funky. I have tried it with 4K wallpapers before, and the problem with those is because mine is essentially wider than it is taller, it doesn't look correct. And so whenever I put on like a full 4K wallpaper, it'll look okay, but you'll notice that everything will kind of be squished together and it looks unnaturally tall. So make sure that you always get your wallpapers in the resolution they're set to. So again, just click over here, go to resolutions, and then from here, again, for me in particular, I would be using a 2560 by 1440 resolution, but again, you can basically select whatever you want. I know most folks will be using a standard 1080p screen, so you can use that, but again, they also have it for the ultra wides and even 4K screens. So go by that as you will. And then let's do this one right here. I'm gonna go ahead and click on this. You'll notice that there are previews for most of these, and if you like it, all you have to do is you just have to click on download, and then from right here, it'll automatically start downloading your wallpaper. Now, initially it will start out slow, but then, whenever the server's taking your request and there's not a whole bunch of people trying to do stuff on it, typically it will speed up. Usually I see speeds anywhere between, I would say, like 5 to 10 megabytes per second. Right now this is in kilobytes, unfortunately. But yeah, I already have some that I have installed. And then what I would do from here, if I were y'all, is I would go to my file explorer, open it up, and then I would actually make myself a folder that's specifically named animated wallpaper. So all you have to do to create that is right click again on wherever you have some free space, go new folder, and then from there you'll get the new folder. If you right click on it again, in most cases you can rename it. Yeah, so there it is for that one, and then from there just type in animated wallpapers and you're done. And then you'll basically go back and forth between your downloads and animated wallpapers folder, and then just sort of hide everything within there. And that's basically a done deal. So as you notice with mine, I've downloaded a ton of different ones. Yeah, essentially there's no limit as far as from what I understand with how many you can download off of the site at any given time. But again, do be aware that there are other people also trying to use this website at the same time as you, so your download speeds will vary. That's pretty much it for this one. I would say a good barometer to some degree is if you go to the first page of Moe Walls and you want to see basically which ones are the best. Typically they have a selector here that tells you which ones have been the most downloaded and which ones have been the most upvoted. These two for your search engine, I always find are great because it basically almost guarantees that you get good wallpapers or ones with good effects. And you know, it kind of just shows you what's sort of trending at the moment. Not that I've ever been one for, you know, trendy stuff, but again, it does show you that some of these animations are truly beautiful and really, really good. And specifically like this one is actually really, really nice. I do like this one. I might actually download this later. But yeah, that's basically that. And then once you're good to go, like with this one that we did download, you're gonna come over here, copy, gonna go back to your C drive, animated wallpapers, and then you're just gonna say paste. Perfect, so we have it now. Now we can go ahead and minimize all this. Also, actually, before I do that, another website that you can use is called Pexels. This one is pretty good if you just want like some more low-key, just sort of like regular wallpapers. So for instance, if you watch the Mario movie, here you go, Peach Crown right here. Or if you're into more like Pokemon and you like Leaf Pokemon in particular, you can download stuff like this. There's also a lot of cool stuff just for like nature and whatnot. And with most of these, just like on Moe Walls, if you preview the window, typically you will get a little preview of that footage. And yeah, you can, you know, just make sure to look at whichever ones you're getting because some of them will be in different resolutions. So for this one, it only has what appears to be 1080p. And then from there you can just go ahead and download it, and you'll see here if you actually click on the arrow that's right beside free download, it'll tell you exactly what resolution you're going to download it in. So just keep that in mind. And aside from that, that is basically a done deal. So let me go back to Lively here and I'll show you how to add in wallpapers. So right here where this plus is, you're going to go ahead and click that. Then you're going to click choose a file. From here you're going to go back into your C drive, animated wallpapers, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to click the one that we just downloaded. And then you can, you know, rename this however you want to. I'll just keep this plain and simple for the purposes of this video. From here in a little bit, hopefully we should see that wallpaper pop up on here. Now, since I actually have two screens, one of them you can't see right now, I'm going to go ahead and select this one. Typically for most folks, it'll only show one. So again, you don't have to worry about this part. But for me, I'm going to keep it like that. And then from here, where in the world is that wallpaper? Oh yes, there we go. I'm a doofus. All you have to do is click on it and then boom, it is right here. And there you go. That's how you change your wallpaper. And now that's also how you have this beautiful disappearing icon too, and everything's fresh. Now again, you can go ahead and also click those icons to show up again, just in case, you know, you need to move stuff from here to there. Again, if you want to pin any program, all you should have to do is just basically do this, say pin to Taskbar, and then boom, all of your stuff will show up over here. Now, obviously, this is a little bit more cluttered than I would previously kind of like it, but I've kind of just learned to, you know, I've kind of just grown to accept the fact I play so many games on so many different systems. It's not possible for me to to have them all within one place unless you use something like, oh my God, what is this even called? I forgot what it was called, but essentially it's kind of like a launcher for all your different emulators. You still have to have the other emulators, but it basically like keeps them all in one place. But every once in a while I do mess around with the settings and the programs for some of the different emulators that I use, but again, that's all for a different day. This is what's important right now. So at this point, you are essentially done. Fortunately, from what I understand, I don't believe there's a way to get rid of this watermark over here where it usually says like recorded by Moe Walls. But you know, for me, that's a small price to pay, right? These are all free. Obviously, I'm not creating them because I'm not that gifted. But with that being said, yeah, this is essentially it. From this point, it should run almost any given time that you want it to. And yeah, hopefully in the next video I will show you a little bit more with a different program that I like to use, which is called OpenRGB. It is a fantastic LED controller for all of your fans, lights, etc. And yeah, I absolutely love using it on my Windows system and my Linux system for that matter. So yeah, we will do that at some other point. But again, that is all for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, give it a thumbs down. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them down in the comment section for other people to look at. It would definitely help if, you know, we had more folks to sort of give us a little bit more sort of like helpful tips and hints that they have whenever they're using Lively. Personally, for me, I only really use this section of it, so this is about the scope of my work. But again, you can use it on multiple different backgrounds, and you can close out of it, and again, it will run on the system tray icon. All right, everyone, so that is going to conclude the end of this video. If you like the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you just like the video, give it a thumbs down. I will be planning on doing some more tutorials specifically with this program, because there was actually one feature that I had not seen beforehand, but I would absolutely like to get that done at a later point in time. But with that being said, this is essentially as much as I do with the program. With everything else, I hope that you enjoy your 4th of July if you are based here in the US. And if not, for the rest of the world, I at least hope that you're enjoying some good food, because I know I will be in a couple of minutes here. But with that being said, stay safe, stay hydrated. I will see you all in the next video. All right, thanks everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.